Hey, it's Chronologically Gaming, the only channel that's perpetually retro because we're playing every video game in order of release. Welcome to 1982. We're in October playing every video game we couldn't find the definite release date for in alphabetical order, and we were last playing Battle for Normandy on the TRS-80. And I know you're clamoring for more Battle for Normandy, so here you go. The very next game we're going to play is Battle for Normandy on the Apple II. Let's check it out. The video on the left is Big Red 1, came out in 1980, and it is storming the beaches of Normandy, and that's what we're going to do in video game form here. Here's the box for Battle for Normandy. All the releases by SSI usually have the same box, and this one's no exception. Front of the box is the same we saw for the TRS-80. Soldiers are bursting through the monitor to storm the beaches of your living room or wherever you have your computer at the time. But very well done, love it. It gets me excited for some strategy games, not really super action. Here, the Wargamer's Dream Package, 25 days on the northern coast of France, and the game does take place in 25 days, so 25 turns for you to finish and hopefully storm the beaches. There's some examples of screenshots. Now we get to see what the Apple II is like. Here's the other artwork we have for the Apple II version of Battle for Normandy. There's the 5 1/4 floppy disk, and that sleeve is the SSI sleeve. You never thought your computer could be this exciting. If you're into strategy games or war games, then this is the one, this is the way to go. Oh, I'm not sure, Pal Puck. You got to tell me exactly what you mean by the intro. Oh, that's really cool. We have the artwork of the front of the box just by itself. Make a poster of that. Love it. And there's an example of the screenshot. I know it's so crisp and clean, chiptune. I don't know if it's really from 1982, right? All right, let's pop in and play Battle for Normandy for the Apple II. This is again by Tactical Design Group, published by SSI at some time in October 1982. And this one I'm going to have to speed up just a little bit so we don't wait for all the load times. This one can take a little bit. So just like the other versions we played thus far, this is the 34th SSI game across all ports that we played here on the show, and this is the 4th that's been done by Tactical Design Group. There it is, D-Day, June 6, 1944. Let's go in the game. Do you want to play a new game? Yes, we do. This one is the 52nd strategy war game we've played on the show since the beginning of all video game time. Oh, I know, the box, Charlie, yes. Yeah, the big box. 11 by 9 dimension. I'll take your word for it. I haven't measured them myself. Do you wish to change any ratings or players? I'm going to say no for this time, but you do have the option to change difficulty of the German soldiers if you want it authentic, just like if it was the Battle of Normandy. So we got landing Omaha Beach. Hey, interesting. The TRS-80 was on one fixed screen, but look, this one is showing the different beach battalions. Screen to screen. There's the Sword Beach Battalion, and it's not happening on one screen. Do you want to drop the British Airborne Division? Yes. Yes, I do. I need all the help I can get. Do I want the U.S. 82nd Airborne Division? Yes. Yes, I do. And the 101st? Yes. Bring everybody to the beaches of Normandy. So now we can decide who's going to drop. You can see they have parachutes, better little characters for our troops compared to the TRS-80 at least. And we kind of saw this. The picture was on the back of the box. Yeah, this is all about the stats. That's right, Ubicore. And this is a lot of resources. It's a big resource-only game. I'm going to get our fast forward going because this might take a while. There we go. I think we're good there. Nice. Okay, so what we're going to do is decide how we want to distribute everything. For fuel, everything has to add up to 100%. So I'm just going to say for fuel, let's do 20% fuel. In general, I'll do 10%. And then combat, for this first phase, let's say 30. And then landing, let's make it 40. There you go. So it adds up to 100%. And now everything's coming in. I believe the German soldiers are coming in. All right, so we are in. I have no control of the joystick, even though I have one plugged into the Apple II. It does nothing. It is only about the keyboard. So here we go. I have movement to go around. Oh, nice, sweet. So it's like a point and click game, but not really. You're using a keyboard. So it's a highlighted section, and I'm using the number. If you look down in the, oh, you actually can't see because it's in the bottom right, but it's telling you which keys to use on the hex to move around. So you move around with your numbers, and this is pretty good. It's not freely scrolling, but it is allowing us to go all around the entire beach. So we actually can see more than we could on the TRS-80, and every hex and character is identified very well. I actually am looking at the characters, and you can see that they have little marks over the top of their head, but I don't see anything differentiating between U.S. and German forces. Is there a differentiation? I can see, I think British is the cross, and then U.S. is the 3 stripes using the beautiful Apple II colors. What is that, magenta and green that they use for that? I know the graphics look way better than the TRS-80. All right, so I'm just moving around. I want to see how far the map goes. Nice, so it goes all the way to the edge. There I am at the very edge. Cool, so freely scrolling. I'm going to go ahead and exit the move phase by hitting E. And then the German operation time. Let's see if we see some German soldiers come in and how they're identified. Like we played with the TRS-80, you'd need the reference card open, you need the manual open to know all the commands for every single unit. If you wanted to really dive into the game, it would take a few months to really sink your teeth into this. Here on the show, we do really quick showcases of strategy games, so it's really difficult to get a firm understanding of how much the quality of this game is. We're doing the best we can, though. All right, so there you go. I got more stats. Got to have the stats if you're doing strategy games. Weather's 44%. I don't know what that means. We'd have to check the manual. 44% what? It looks clear, though. And you can see fuel, naval, tactical, general, and then amphibian. Amphib is who's in the water. And there's no sound, too. There is sound on, but don't adjust your speaker. It's only my voice coming out right now. Do we want to save? No, we won't let save. All right, so it's still, we're June 6, 1944. And now we decide how we want to distribute again. I'm just going to go just quick. 10, 20, 30. I think that equals 100, right? Yeah, there we go. So interdiction phase. And you can play this with another person. So if you have someone that is really into war games, get them on this game because that's the better way to go. If you're trying to do the actual German forces and make it historical as possible, you're going to die. You're going to lose. I haven't known, from all the articles I've read, no one's really won this title. Well, I should say that on this port, yes, but on the TRS-80 port, I don't think anyone has won the TRS-80 version of the game. Oh, Rommel's issuing orders. We must stop him. Rommel, general of the German army, if my World War II history serves me correct. Maybe that's what it is, Palpuck. 44% humidity. How will that affect our soldiers? And I bet that's part of the game. They calculated in the humidity for how well we're going to do. So as you move units around the screen, when you do come across a German unit, you essentially just attack the unit based on whatever the stats are. You roll the dice, and then you decide who dies. So it really is... It's kind of a gamble. You are going to be using your intelligence of each unit, so you can drill into every unit and take a look at them. So notice the German units are moving, but I can't see the difference. They are represented down the bottom as GE for Germany, and then US will be US, and then British troops, I believe, are BR. So the computer is doing its turns now, and you can see how it's moving every character. You have a certain amount of movements and then attack. But the attack is just how much stats your unit has before it attacks the other one. And every time a unit moves around the screen, it's using up resources, and so you have to divvy up the resources for whatever. That's right, Manly. Is that a true fact, Manly? Are you just throwing funny things in the chat? Because I'm half wanting to believe that. Unless you are a history buff like me, I do love to know as much information as possible about World War II. Whoa, Manly. You need to put a reference in the chat when you throw things out like that. So we are playing this real time. The speed is not turned up, even though I have that little thing in the top right. I just turned off the notification. But this is playing real time. If you were playing this by yourself, this is how Germany would be doing their turns and their movement for their phase. So you'd be waiting for them to do their turns. Oh, I believe maybe that's the Germans. There we go. The tank there has an SS on the side of it. So I wonder if that's for the German troops. And as this is going on and the text is crawling on the screen, you need to be keeping notes. Have a notepad nearby, have that manual, have that reference card to effectively play the game right now. Remember, Manly, all these need to have references. You got to put the link of where you're getting all your historical facts. All right, so U.S. Beach Battalion. So we're back on, am I in? Can I move now? Am I supplied? Air power. Nice. Naval power. Allied combat supply. Okay, so it's going through my stats now before I get to my phase. Defense level, 1 through 6. Sweet. All right, can I move? Does it let me go? U.S. Utah Beach. Oh my gosh, the Beach Battalion. The Utah Battalion's already defeated? That was one turn. Oh my gosh, this is brutal. It's going to continue to go, right? Yeah, advancing 1 hex. It feels like whenever the Germans are playing, the game's playing itself. And I don't think this game has where you can have the computer play against itself. All right, Omaha Beach is here. But, oh my gosh, a whole battalion's already gone in 1 turn? Well, you do need to study the manual and really know how to play the game to, hold back against Germany. But wow, yeah, Ubicor, I'm amazed that in 1 turn, we lost a whole battalion. That's crazy. Yeah, thanks, Hunter. Yeah, cite for all those sources, especially when... Yeah, chiptune, I can believe that too, if that is from Sesame Street. Right now in October 1982, if you were playing this and really enjoying this, hopefully finding another friend that wants to play with you, you would be big into the history of World War II, and so you would be scrutinizing the game on an historical perspective as well. Not so much to the point that you think of it as an educational title. You would be in your 30s, maybe 40s right now to really enjoy this in October 1982. All right, so what's our next move? Let's go. I want to get our... So we're going unit by unit or battalion by battalion, which is represented by the little troop there. So this is American, and SS is represented by Germany. And as you move around, you make the decisions to assign the resources and then hopefully win the day. Here on Chronologically Gaming, though, that's the only quick taste we're going to have for Battle for Normandy on the Apple II. I'm going to rate it the same thing that we did for the TRS-80, which is it is a better engine than it was for the other releases by the Tactical Design Group. That was David Landry and Charles J. Krogel Jr. that made up the rest of it. So of all the games you can play right now on home computers, this one's still very good. And I actually want to give this one maybe a slight nod better than the TRS-80 because of the user interface. That'd be a good idea, Hunter. Right now, cheats aren't super prevalent. It's more like poking, using code to manipulate the game, not have cheats embedded in the game. All right, so after a Battle for Normandy on the Apple II, we're still going to see what's happening on Normandy with Battle for Normandy on the Atari home computer. This is our last release that was available for at this time in October 1982, or nearing the end of 1982. I'm going to lump them all together. The box should look exactly the same. There it is. Yes. Yes. And there we go. We even have a picture on the top left of the box showing us the Atari version. What else do we have for Battle for Normandy on Atari? We got an ad that you would have seen in magazines by SSI around the time, but this one is a little bit newer. This has some a few games that we haven't seen yet on the show. Yes, that's right. We're going to wait for that a lot longer. It is 1982. Nothing like that exists. If you had the tape version, yeah, you just flip it over. We played on the TRS-80, and you can play on the Atari home computer. Or if you have the 5 1/4 floppy disk, looks very, very nice. So this one, I have the reference card that you would have had for Atari. How you can load the game, it should be pretty simple for us, but at the time you would need to know some commands to load it up. And then we have the description of what the map is like. Oh yes, the map is larger than one screen, just like the TRS-80, and explains here the combat ratings. And then look at that, the unit roster. Nice for all versions, that's great. And then there's the map display on the Atari. You would have to have that by your side. The manual is like we saw on the TRS-80. This is the same one. TRS-80 and Apple II came bundled together. So I was breezing through the manual when we saw it on the TRS-80. So this one, I'm not going to see the whole, I won't scroll through the whole thing. It's the same manual. I also have a version that's translated in French, but we're going to pop in and play Battle for Normandy, not in French. This is, again, by SSI at sometime in October 1982. So now this would be our 53rd strategy war game we played thus far on the show. 53 strategy war games. There's a lot out there. It's still June 6th, 1944, D-Day. Okay, wow me, Atari. I want to hear something cool. Now again, I have the sound on, but I expect laser sounds to be coming out of the speakers, but no. It's just Battle for Normandy being drawn on the screen. Cool effect, though. Nice. Now this one I'm going to have to do a little fast forwarding as well, because the loading for some of these games to have to calculate everything, oof, they chug. All right, do you want to play a new game? Yes, we do. Not loading anything here. You want to change any ratings or players? I want to say yes this time. Do you want to play the 2-week scenario or the campaign game? Let's try the 2-week scenario. Do we just hit T? Oh, yes, we just say yes. Because there's only 2 different scenarios. Do you want the computer to command the German forces? Now, here's where you can play with a friend. I'm going to say yes. I want the computer to command the German forces against my better judgment. And now you can select different ratings for the Allied players. So here's giving you a taste of what Battle for Normandy gives you for options. So I'm going to go ahead and say, let's do a combat, let's do 5. And we're selecting for each one. German players will do 5. So you can even do a little bit of handicap. Maybe make the Germans way worse than you. Allied units leadership rating. Let's do the historical. Allied is 5. So I'm following the reference that it says down below. And it says for German, we'll say 7. So they're giving Germans the edge, and I believe they did at the time. Allied amphibious supply rating. Let's go with 100% historical supply. Yes, Hunter, you can. You can make yourself overpowered if you wanted to. You could totally swing it in your favor so you'd win. And this would be a cool way to practice. Allied tactical air power rating. Let's go with 140% air power. And then naval power rating, let's go 140%. All this you're selecting before you play the game. Let's go with a German coastal defense, -4. Maybe we'll be able to get on the beach. Okay, and this was also for reinforcements. German reinforcement will arrive 4 turns earlier or 4 turns later. So let's say they just take a long time to show up to the party. Hey, Curtis, welcome. Yeah, it's just some more Battle for Normandy. This is the last version we're going to see in 1982. Do you want the German player to move on D-Day? Yes. Wait, no. German player? No. I don't want the Germans to move. And then the time delay loop, let's go with a 5-second delay. Ooh, nice. Look at the graphics on the Atari home computer. Utah Beach lands, Omaha Beach. We got to make sure Utah survives this time. So all the beach battalions are coming in. Everyone's landing. And I want to see how they present this because it has a lot to live up to on the Atari. The Atari has the game that Chris Crawford put out where you could scroll around on the screen, which is pretty cool. Oh, here we go. We get to drop everything. And look, they got a little United States flag, so even better graphics than the Apple II. Love it. Airborne unit drifted. Nice. Now, for gameplay, a lot of the places I've seen where people have played it online, they usually play this version, the Apple or the Atari version of the game. So the Atari home computer version at this time would be the better one to play, at least when I see what other people play. All right, so let's drop there. You can see they give us symbols. Look at that. We get the swastika for the Germans. Epic. Okay, it's loading D-Day. I'm going to speed it up because it's going to take a while. There we go. And we're in really fast. Wow, look at this. So smooth scrolling. I'm using the Atari VCS joystick, and I am able to freely scroll around the screen. Sweet. And then while I was looking at the map, I can see all my units. Now I can decide fuel. Let's do what we did before. Add it up to 100%. I'll have general 20, combat 30, and just make it easy. Just has to add up to 100%. Okay, so now that we're there, it's going to start with the U.S. airborne divisions. So it's going through a little bit of the calculations to get the units in the right spot, and then we start to make our decisions. I know, if you think of this compared to other strategy games you can play on PC, it's a total culture shock. All right, Allied movement phase. So this is our move. Now, in the top of the screen, now you can see where I'm referring to how to move. You have to use the keyboard, but if I have... Can I move it with the joystick? Does it work? No, it looks like the joystick is only used to view the map. Yeah, so I'm trying... Yeah, all it is to view the map, which is cool. So you can look ahead freely, but then you got to use the keyboard to move around. So like if I want to go for the Germans, let's see if I want to go 2. And then can I go with an attack or fight or what's the... Oh, star. Does it work if I do that? No, it doesn't do that. Okay, so that I can move around freely, but I can't remember the commands. You have to have the reference card to go for a combat phase. So I'm using the numbers on my keyboard to move around. And I think I can hit E to end the movement phase. Yeah. And so what you do is you go unit by unit, telling them where to move and to attack, and hopefully hold off the Germans. Look how many German forces are on land. Do we want to save? No. No, we're doing terrible. All right, so let's do spread up our resources again. Just make it simple to add up to 100%. Yeah, the smooth scrolling is really impressive. Interdiction, let's do 20. I think that'll be all right. And now here we go. GE means Germans. Germans are doing their logistics phase. Let's see how quickly this one calculates based on the other systems. Compared to the TRS-80 and the Apple II, let's see if it goes even faster. Or I'm tempted to do a fast forward because it's already taking a little bit of time. I know we have the weather. And all these stats, they do break them down in more detail in the manual, so you have a better understanding. But this one doesn't have that many keyboard commands. So there is other SSI games we played previously that aren't as intuitive. This one's actually easier to pick up and play. The engine is a little bit better tweaked compared to Tigers in the Snow and Battle of Shiloh. But here, since we do only a showcase, these quick little peeks of what a game is like when you first were to play it at the time is really not enough for these kind of games. This is far too complex. Oh, look at that. Was that Rommel moving around issuing the orders? If he really was here. All right, so now German forces are doing their moves. And you can see how the combat works. When it comes to an attack, you just move into the space, and if you beat everybody, then you take over the space. Very, very, very simple. But this one's still more accessible than the other two versions. So it feels like we did the lower quality version on the TRS-80, and then got a notch above that on the Apple II, and then now we're on the primo release on the Atari. I'm not sure if anybody saw my presentation I did at Vintage Computer Festival Southwest, but I took every home computer and I rated, or I took all the games for every home computer and averaged them on each home computer, and then displayed which one is the top gaming computer right now in October 1982. And Atari, I believe, is number 2. The number 1 home computer, if you were to average out all the games you could play on it, is Apple II. And I think number 3 was... I actually don't remember. I have to look back for it. But yeah, the Atari home computer is fantastic. Oh, this does kind of look like the console version they put out on the Atari XEGS, which we're not going to see for a long time. Oh, thanks, Brian. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And every time the computer moves, it's automatically selecting and scrolling on the screen to them. It's awesome. Yeah, this is going pretty quick. You would still, every turn, just bear this in mind, it's 25 days, I believe, where you have to be able to beat the Germans or get on land. And so in 25 turns, this is us acting out one turn. So just imagine the time it's going to take as you play it longer and longer. It's just going to continue to more and more. Oh, yes, Commodore's going up. Definitely, Charlie. Right now is not on the top 3. I don't even think it's the top 5, at least from the average of all the games you could play on it right now. All right, there you go. There's a quick taste of Battle for Normandy on the Atari home computer. Now, just like the other versions, it's better than the other releases that we've seen by Tactical Design Group. I'm going to go 4 stars and give this one the nod. This is excellent. For all the games you can play right now, strategy games, it's not the best of the best, but it's still very good. Excellent, excellent game. All right, with that, let's press forward and see our next game after this commercial break. Our commercial breaks take place in 1982.
It sure makes my job a lot easier.
There are more people in more places doing more things with apples than with any other personal computer in the world.
Apple computer.
Never travel without the Apple.
And of all these people using apples, most had never touched a computer before. Apple.
Oh, you know they're playing video games on that one. So just like I said, this is the top computer, at least from all the ratings of all the games we played on it averaged out. The Apple II is still the #1 video game home computer right now, at least for chronologically gaming standard. So here we go. The next game we're going to play is Battle Site on the Apple II. This one is another one we don't have a lot of artwork for, just a few screenshots and then a mock-up of what the disc would look like. It's not even a real disc for the Apple II. So yeah, here's just the screenshot. I think that's it. Yeah, all we have is a screenshot of the game. So let's pop it and play Battle Site and see what it's all about. This is Versa Computing, done by Major C. Hanselman at sometime in October 1982. And this is definitely sometime in October 1982. So this one is only on the Apple II, and this marks our 393rd game we've played here on Chronologically Gaming for the Apple II. The classic Apple II scroll. Sweet. And never mind that crack, but that's how we're able to play it today. Got some tank graphics. I'm ready to go. And I guess it's still loading for us. The Versa Computing. Whoa, there you go. That'll wake you up. Versa Computing, the only other thing that they've done was a game called Meet the Presidents in 1981. We did not play that game. It was one of the most boring educational titles. So let's see if they can live up to the first game we've seen them do here on the show. Oh, nice touch. Playing music on the Apple II. There's not a whole lot of games that do that. There's more. Probably 10 that we see that play some tunes before we play. All right, so we want to go with, you can do instructions. Oh, man, what is this? Instructions? The Soviet threat? They tell us how to play the game? It is highly recommended that you view the remaining programs on the menu after completing these instructions and prior to play. Okay, so I guess we didn't get a manual for this one because it's pretty hard to come by. They'll give you an insight into modern tank warfare. Wait a second, is this like a tank simulation? Are we going to play something like Battlezone? Chances of survival immensely. Okay, so it increases our chance of survival. Low-flying aircraft should be engaged. Press the escape key, freezes the action in case you're called away. Oh, nice. So you have a pause. That's awesome. All right, so this is... Oh, okay. It shows you how to control both the tank tread and turret movement in the event of either is damaged. You press the R key to repair. Okay, that's good to know. 5 enemy tanks bypass your position. So we have a wall of text, but I guess that's good because we didn't get a manual for the game. It's in the game itself. It has 5 skill levels as well as a night warfare option. Individual performance will recap at the end of each game. Highest score, current champ. Cool. It's an accurate simulation of what we'd be facing in Europe should we go to war tomorrow. Pains have been taken to consider such things as the speed of both US and Soviet tank rounds and missiles. So this is like a World War III simulator that we're going to play. At least it sounds that way. Nice. All right, so that's the instructions. Now, I don't want to go through all of these. I guess we can break down the Soviet threat, the intelligence report, and then helpful hints. Or we can just play the game. Let's go. Hitting number 5. Yeah, I like it, Brian. If you don't know what tanks are, how to control tanks, I guess you would want to read that. All right, let's speed this up. We're not going to wait all day for things to load. You would have had to in 1982, though. All right, so I want to do skill level 1 because I don't know what's going to happen. And night fighting, no. That just means things will go dark. Okay, first wave is in, and we're on. Okay, so I'm controlling the crosshair on the screen. Interesting. It moves very, very slow. But if I hold down one of the buttons... Nice, there's my fire. It just blink away in existence. If I hold down one of the buttons, I do this little scroll effect, which is kind of cool. Oh, why didn't it? Oh, the turret's damaged. Repair. Hit R to repair. Quick, quick, quick. Hurry, we don't have time. It's still under repair, which means I can't move the crosshair. All right, let's try to get it down. It moves so slow, though. Look at this. It's still going down. Waiting. I don't think I'll catch up to it. Oh, okay. Whenever you fire, it's just a single shot on the screen or a explosion that blocks your face. Nice. Okay, we got the helicopter. So I have one button for fire, one button to scroll the screen. Okay, this wave is over. Next wave will consist of 2 tanks. Crew efficiency went up. All right, we're ready for the next wave. Let's go. Let's scroll over to the side. I don't know exactly how... Okay, it's loading, so I can't fire again. I gotta wait. Quick, 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 load that shell. Put it in. And I missed again. I thought I had to lead the target, but I guess not. So this game was promising with the user interface something really impressive, but all this really feels like is I'm playing a terrible version of Missile Command, like a command shooter. Fire, quick. Thank you. Okay, can we get over to this one? Quick, quick, quick. He's coming in fast. Load the shell. It's still loading. Come on. Oh, nice touch. There's a different view of the tanks coming at you. Sweet. Okay, so let's see. We got another one coming in. And the top of the screen. I'll scroll myself over. Since there's not as much animation, it feels less impressive when I'm blowing things up. Like, I want oomph, and I'm not feeling it. Next wave will consist of at least 4 tanks, hitting a key or a button for next wave. That's it, mainly. It doesn't really feel like Battlezone, though, because I'm not able to move forward. It doesn't feel like I'm in virtual reality. So it feels like I'm... what's the best way to describe it? This feels more like I'm playing Missile Command, like a command shooter, rather than a Battlezone game. And to be fair, most of the games we've seen that tried to be like Battlezone, they don't really pull it off. Nothing... Uh-oh, treads are damaged. Oh, no. Fully functional? Okay, we're full... I don't know what happens. we got shot to the point that our treads fixed themselves. Awesome. So I move my way around the map, wait for shells to load. Because of the slowness, it feels almost like a simulator, but it doesn't feel as fun as Battlezone. Some of the ones we've seen at home, like the best one we saw was on the TRS-80. That one was fun as a Battlezone style game, but this one just seems a little bit slow-paced. Come on, waiting for the shell to load. Come on. Quick. Got him. Nice. All right, really? Whenever it does the giant explosion, Curtis? All right, 5 tanks. So it's going to continue to go wave by wave, get more and more enemies on the screen, but that's essentially the gameplay. So as all the games we've ever played on home computers, you're expecting something like Battlezone or a simulator that would be even cooler or better, but it doesn't deliver. So Battlesight falls short, but if you're into something a little slower paced, It's not really a high action style game. I would say it's still around the average range for everything you could play up to this point. It is not Battlezone. However, it is the 53rd vehicular combat game we've played here on the show, and I'm going to call it a command shooter, like Missile Command. So this is the 38th command shooter we've played thus far. Yeah, I'm looking over the chat. I see 2.5s to 3s. I'm actually going to go subpar because of the slowness and because I can understand why our artwork is not found for this one. 2.5 stars for Battle Sight. There you go. All right, it's time to put the video game playing on pause. Every video game we come across, we rate everything here on the show. Come on the live show. Be a Chronologically Gaming influencer. Give me some ratings. Give me some what your experience would be like if you had played this right now in 1982. Is it a good game, average game, excellent game? Next time on Chronologically Gaming, we're headed to the arcade to see what all the buzz is about and see some more games released at some time in October in 1982. That's it for today, and like I always say, if it has a gun, it's a good video game. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out the channel and joining me on my quest to play every single video game in order of release. We'll be streaming live every weekday at 9 p.m. Central, so join us and let us know if we missed any games along the way. This video would not be possible without Launchbox, RetroArch, and MAME. Tell all your friends there's some crazy guy named Chronologically Gaming trying to play every single video game. We have links down below that'll send you to places like our Discord and Patreon, and one that says all the video games we've ever played. If you go there, it's a list of everything, and you can click right to the game you want to see. Chronologically Gaming is the name to look for. We are Perpetually Retro, and we will catch you next time.